After a slew of Browns trash talk prior to the divisional matchup. Meanwhile, an interesting report from you, Adam Schefter, on Shedeur Sanders involving Baltimore. Sanders declined Baltimore's offer to draft him in the 5th round of the 2025 NFL draft because he did not want to be a backup to Lamar Jackson and wanted a team he'd have a better chance to play sooner. Really interesting stuff. Adam, what more can you tell us about what went down?
Well, the Ravens were preparing to take Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round, the 141st overall selection. And then they got word, obviously, that he would prefer not to be in a situation where he's in a quarterback room with Lamar Jackson, who's entrenched as the most valuable player, where he's not going to get the chance to play anytime soon or compete for the starting quarterback job. And so he let it be known that he preferred to pass on that opportunity. The Ravens went in a different direction. And then 3 picks later, Shedeur Sanders goes to the Cleveland Browns, where obviously he has a better chance to get that job at some point in time. We'll see how it plays out over time. He didn't know where he was going to go at pick 141, but in Baltimore was something that at that time did not overly appeal to him.
Interesting. Now, Cam, I would think you're the quarterback. It would be an incredible opportunity to sit behind a guy like Lamar Jackson in the Baltimore Ravens and learn with that head coach. What's your reaction to this?
I think this is a learning lesson about life because you just never know. And with this particular situation, I don't want to get too aggressive, because when I talk about Shedeur, it's so sensitive because of the passion and desire that I have, not only just for him, but also for his father. Yeah. And there are some things that if you could go back and change, obviously hindsight's 20/20. But when you're looking at the better situation is definitely Baltimore, where you could potentially learn from a great and see how he manages so many different things outside of football rather than just performing at an elite level. Well, in Cleveland, you got to go through 2 individuals to insert yourself as, the starter. Dylan Gabriel, who's now the second quarterback at hand, and then obviously Joe Flacco. And when you consider those things, it's like, what situation is better?
But he didn't know that he was going to wind up in Cleveland.
No.
He didn't know that. He opted for what was behind curtain number 2 rather than the known curtain in Baltimore.
Yeah.
He opted for the unknown.
Well,
the unknown turned out to be Cleveland.
Stephen A., where are you on this? I'm curious.
2 things could be true. Cam Newton can be absolutely right that Baltimore is the better situation. Yet none of us can look at Shedeur Sanders and find extreme fault with his position. Lamar Jackson, let's not talk about him like he's a quarterback and stop there. He's a superstar. 2-time league MVP. Okay? This dude is considered one of the greatest we've ever seen. And he's 28. He's not going anywhere anytime soon. And when you take a job as a backup quarterback in Baltimore, barring injury, you assume you're going to be holding the clipboard and you're going to be practicing. But you're almost never going to play because that brother's not going anywhere. Nobody's supplanting him. And so if you're Shedeur Sanders and you're looking at it from that standpoint, you're coming out of Colorado, you just completed 70% of your passes. Once upon a time, you were projected to be a top 2 to 3 quarterback taken in the upcoming draft before things nosedived. Your mentality is that you have a chance at playing sooner than later on various teams in the National Football League. But Kansas City wouldn't be one of them. Baltimore wouldn't be one of them. Buffalo wouldn't be one of them. Cincinnati, there's a better chance there because there's always an injury to Joe Burrow, as Adam Schefter pointed out to start the show. That's what you're looking at. And so again, it might not have been wise. I get it because an opportunity is an opportunity. You never know what it could turn into. I understand that. But if you're looking forward to playing in the National Football League at the quarterback spot, you're not going to expect to be playing if you go to Baltimore because Lamar Jackson is there.
Can I say this? And I think if I'm Shedeur, you would ideally want to learn behind a guy like Lamar Jackson for this particular reason and this particular reason only. not a lot of players can really cope with your star power, with your stardom, right? And let's really give credit where credit's due. At 28 years old, being a phenomenal athlete, the thing that I respect a guy like Lamar Jackson the most, we've never heard him have any off the field issues. He's been a stand-up guy, and if all of our opinion has always led to his on-field performance. Not a lot of people can relate to what Shedeur Sanders has been through in his whole life. And that right there serves even more to make him a better player because it's the totality of the position. And I think Lamar Jackson would have been able to relate to him in many ways.
Such a good point.
But how many people are coming out of college thinking about learning instead of playing? And that's the only thing that I'm saying.
No, we have to go to break. But to Cam's point, there's so many intangibles.
Yeah.
What he could have learned from Lamar Jackson, but he didn't know. And
apparent is, where's the weapons? Juju, Hollywood, Thorpe. Where are the weapons? We've never looked at what we have before, but they've been able to maneuver and generate some type of offense. Xavier Worthy can't get back fast enough if I'm thinking about this because I think the cat's out now. From the philosophical standpoint, all we have to do is really frustrate Patrick Mahomes, and we got to play man-to-man, and we bracket Travis Kelce. We've never ever seen the Kansas City Chiefs rely on Patrick Mahomes as their valuable running source like we've had in these last 2 games. Now, granted, everybody has to evolve their game, but it's apparently, it's abundantly clear that the Kansas City Chiefs have bigger problems, and we need to find valuable options that can beat consistently man-to-man coverage, and that's not number 87 in El Travidor.
Damien?
Only 3 teams in NFL history has gone 0-2 and went on and win a Super Bowl. I was part of that. One of the 3 teams.
So the flex.
It's a little bit of a flex. I will say this. Who you scared of on Kansas City? Nobody. Nobody. You're not scared of anybody. You're not scared of anybody with Kansas City. Listen, we know the greatness of number 15, Patrick Mahomes. We know he's an all-time great. But what was really apparent is when you watch that game, the way Vic Fangio, defensive coordinator of the Eagles, came after Patrick Mahomes. That's kind of out of character for Vic Fangio. He's not the type of guy that's going to bring a lot of pressure. But Cam, why does somebody bring pressure? Because they don't worry about anybody on the outside. They just like, you know what? You ain't got the dogs on the outside, so I'm going to go out here and I'm going to heat up your quarterback, knowing like he's the only guy that could possibly keep you in this game. And Marley, I want to say this, okay? I want to say this. The Kansas City Chiefs had a mini bye coming off that game, that Friday night game against the Chargers. Right. Playing at home, rested up, playing against a team that obliterated them in the Super Bowl and still lost. Yeah. Think about that. I think that speaks to me of the lack of invincibility with the Kansas City Chiefs right now. And I think not only that the Philadelphia Eagles go in there and get the win, you don't think other teams aren't thinking to themselves, man, we're not sweating the Chiefs like that. Now, I know it's early, but 0-2, trust me, it's a problem. 0-2 is a problem.
Stephen A.
Listen, I get where y'all coming from, but can we pump